When complex legal matters arise, you need more than advice. You need strategy, speed, and certainty. Pryor, Zarnis & Wallace Law Firm can help by offering expert services across commercial law, dispute resolution, property, and estate planning, and more. So whether you're growing a business, protecting your assets, or navigating a legal challenge, Pryor, Zarnis & Wallace's team delivers practical, results-driven solutions. For trusted legal support, visit ptwlaw.com.au today. There's no ouzo talk without a bottle of ouzo, which is why we love the Greek Providor. Get a real taste of the very best produce that Greece has to offer. From olive oils and delicious artisan sweets, to unique spirits, earthy herbs and memorable wines. Visit thegreekprovidor.com.au to see their delicious range. The Greek Providor, proud sponsors of the Ouzo Talk podcast.
Iassas, and welcome to Greek News Global. I'm John Mangos. In this bulletin, Australian firefighting helicopters involved in a deadly crash outside Athens. Wildfires continue across the wider Attica region. Voting made easier for Greeks abroad. And Greek football star bound for the Bundeslig. But first, an Australian-owned firefighting operation has been rocked by tragedy after two of its helicopters collided mid-air in Greece while battling a massive wildfire west of Athens. The aircraft, owned by Queensland-based McDermott Aviation, were dropping water on the fast-moving blaze when they crashed. A Danish pilot and a Greek fire service liaison officer were killed. A British pilot and another Greek coordinator survived. Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis has expressed his condolences as investigators examine the cause of the collision. The wildfire continues to threaten communities near the Greek capital, fueled by strong winds as Europe endures another devastating fire season. Still on Greece's wildfires, and more than 500 firefighters, assisted by a fleet of firebombing aircraft, are striving to contain flare-ups from the huge wildfire, which has destroyed some 13,000 hectares of mostly forest land, forced multiple evacuations, and destroyed homes. The fire service says scattered active fires are still burning in some of the afflicted areas. Investigators believe the fires were triggered by sparks from an overhead power line linking a wind farm with the electricity grid that showered onto dry brush after faulty construction allowed cables to touch and short-circuit. 2 people involved in the project have been arrested. A small chapel in western Attica has become a symbol of hope after surviving the devastating wildfires that swept through the region. A video filmed by a motorcyclist racked up more than 2 million views in just 24 hours, showing the chapel dedicated to Archangel Michael standing untouched while the surrounding landscape lies blackened and destroyed. Even trees beside the church remained green, with leaves and branches blackened up until the point where the chapel's roof begins. Inside, icons and religious items also appeared unharmed, prompting thousands online to describe the scene as nothing short of a miracle. The emotional reaction of the man behind the camera has now gone viral.
Πείτε μου σας παρακαλώ, μόλις έφτασα και τρέμω, δεν έχει καεί. Δεν έχει καεί, είναι θαύμα. Είναι θαύμα, αλήθεια. Είναι θαύμα. Γίνεται να μην πιστεύετε, ρε μαλάκες. Ρε μαλάκες, μετά από αυτό γίνεται να μην πιστεύετε. Παναγία μου. Παναγία μου.
Nearly 3,000 years after it was first told, Homer's The Odyssey is enjoying an extraordinary comeback. Spurred by Christopher Nolan's blockbuster film adaptation, sales of the ancient Greek epic have jumped 76% in the United States, while borrowing requests at the New York Public Library have surged by more than 300%. Bookseller Barnes & Noble says it's now its best-selling title. The renewed fascination is also driving interest in Greek language and culture, with language learning app Duolingo reporting a 75% increase in people studying Greek after the film's first trailer was released. It seems Odysseus's epic journey of resilience, homecoming and hope is proving just as compelling today as it was nearly 3 millennia ago. The Greek government has unveiled an ambitious plan to turn one of the country's smallest islands into an electric vehicle showcase. Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis says every privately owned and government vehicle on Agathonisi, home to fewer than 200 permanent residents, could be replaced free of charge with electric models, provided charging infrastructure can also be installed. The eastern Aegean island, located near the Turkish coast, is being positioned as a model for Greece's green transition, with Mitsotakis saying small islands can be on the front line of the country's shift towards cleaner energy. During his first visit to Agathonisi as Prime Minister, he also pledged to rebuild the island's port exactly as residents have designed it, calling safe and reliable ferry access the least we can do for remote communities. Mitsotakis said the government would also look at special development incentives to encourage sustainable tourism investment and help keep families living on small islands. That includes improving school services so children do not have to leave to continue their education. The announcement is part of a wider effort by Athens to support Greece's remote Aegean communities while balancing economic development with environmental goals. An Orthodox priest in central Athens has chosen compassion over punishment after discovering a young couple engaged in intimate activity inside a church chapel. According to Ecclesia Online, the 58-year-old parish priest found a 20-year-old man and a 19-year-old woman inside a small chapel attached to the church, which is open 24 hours a day for worshippers. The priest said he had finished locking the main church on Saturday night when he heard unusual noises coming from the nearby chapel. Entering the room, he said he was shocked by what he had found. But instead of calling police, the priest asked the couple to get dressed and join him in his office, where he offered them water and spoke with them about respecting sacred spaces. He said he told them that feelings and desire were natural at their age, but that a chapel was not the appropriate place. The priest then gave the young man €100 and encouraged the couple to find a hotel instead, telling them to go with my blessing while remembering their conversation. No police action has been reported. A New Zealand MP has highlighted the Greek roots of the English language during a fiery parliamentary debate, describing English as a bastardisation of Greek, Old Norse and Latin. Green MP Tamitha Paul argued the language is itself a blend of older tongues, saying that makes efforts to give English official legal status unnecessary. Her comments came as Parliament debated legislation formally recognising English alongside Te Reo Maori and New Zealand Sign Language. The bill has since passed, but Paul's remarks about the significant Greek influence on English have attracted widespread attention online, putting the ancient language at the centre of New Zealand's political debate. Greece has entered the pre-election period, with Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis indicating parliamentary elections will be held in the spring of 2027. The Ministry of the Interior has issued a new circular providing detailed instructions on how voters residing outside Greece can exercise their voting rights in the parliamentary elections, and how they can register in the special overseas electoral register. Greeks living abroad can now participate in parliamentary elections by postal vote in a new law called the Establishment of the Electoral District of the Greek Diaspora, which facilitates the exercise of voting rights for electors outside the territory, though postal voting in parliamentary elections. The legislation marks a significant development in the relation between the Greek state and the Greek diaspora, and has been widely welcomed by Greek communities worldwide. The government is preparing a financial support package worth nearly €60 million to help ferry operators cope with rising marine fuel costs while preventing additional fare increases for passengers. The initiative comes as the price of marine gas oil, one of the sector's main operating expenses, continues to fluctuate. Although fuel costs have increased significantly, ferry companies have so far avoided introducing another round of ticket price hikes. At the heart of the plan is a reimbursement mechanism that will compensate ferry operators for mandatory social discounts required under Greek law. The measure applies only to legally mandated reduced fares, while voluntary commercial discounts offered by companies will remain outside the new scheme. Police have arrested a man suspected of keeping his father's body for several years in a freezer in the basement of a disused hotel at one of the country's top medieval sites to continue drawing his pension. There are no immediate indications the 90-year-old retired teacher had died of anything but natural causes. Police say his 55-year-old son faces charges of fraud and making a false declaration, as well as arms laws violations after he was found in possession of an air gun. And Greek police are continuing to investigate the motive behind the death of Scottish charity worker Elizabeth Jane Ross, whose body was found in a suitcase in an abandoned building in Athens. A 26-year-old Afghan man, identified as Sharif Ahmadzai, has been accused of intentional homicide after 3 days of questioning. He's due to appear before an investigating magistrate to be formally charged. Authorities believe Ms Ross's final hours could provide crucial answers about why the 38-year-old was targeted, while Ahmadzai has admitting moving her body in a suitcase and withdrawing €10,000 from ATMs using her bank cards. He denies killing her. Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis has visited the Athens Olympic Centre to inspect ongoing renovation work, saying the government has invested more than €160 million to transform Greece's flagship sports complex into a destination for recreation and green space. Mitsotakis has stated the government inherited the complex in poor condition in 2019 and has since undertaken extensive upgrades, including the restoration of its iconic steel roof designed by Spanish architect Santiago Calatrava for the 2004 Summer Games. Mitsotakis said the government had made a significant investment exceeding €160 million, not just for it to be a sporting venue, but to transfer it into a space for recreation and greenery, giving the northern suburbs another major green area. To sporting news now, and Greece's Soccer Federation has written to the World Soccer Body to state it will not back FIFA head Gianni Infantino in his bid to be re-elected for a fourth term. Infantino's plan to sell a stake in future World Cup profits to private investors has been dropped just days after the revelation provoked a global furore. The Greek EPO Federation's decision to withdraw its support for Infantino follows similar moves by several others, including Wales, England and Sweden. Greek international centre-back Konstantinos Kouliarakis is set to become a Roma player after a final agreement was reached between the player, the Italian club and Wolfsburg. Romano has reported the total value of the transfer amounts to €15 million, with the deal set to be confirmed in the coming days. PAOK had previously secured a sell-on percentage from the young Greek's future. Kouliarakis leaves Germany after a 2-year spell at Wolfsburg, where he made 66 appearances across all competitions, recording 4 goals and 3 assists in the Bundesliga and other competitions. The move represents another major step in the career of the Greek international, who has established himself as one of the country's most promising young defenders. And that's it for this edition of Greek News Global, recorded on the 7th of August 2026. I'm John Mangos. Gya σας και να είστε καλά.